Yes, we're all in real estate, but where were we before this? Before this life? What were our passions? Are we dual career? Is there something else that we do? Can anybody tell me something? It could be a career, it could be a hobby, something that they love. Can somebody put it in the chat or talk or speak to something that they're passionate about? Please don't let the coach be the one, because I have a feeling that he's gonna mention. But can anybody tell me something that they're really passionate about? A hobby, another career, anything. I'll wait.
Coaching basketball.
Coaching basketball. Okay. All right. There we go. Coaching basketball. So here's the thing. Yes, we're talking about real estate here. We're talking about building confidence to build a business. But let's talk about coaching basketball. This is something the man is very passionate about, something that he loves, something that he's put blood, sweat, and tears into. It's not real estate, right? But let me ask you, how confident do you believe that he is talking about running the triangle, man, zone, all of these things, running the annex of Puerto Rico, a play that I created, 2 summers ago? The point is this: it didn't happen overnight, but it's something that he's very passionate about. He's confident about. If I were to ask him, coach, and I'm being honest here, what's the triangle defense? Or is that even an offense? What's the triangle? I have no idea what the triangle is.
The triangle is a man-to-man offense. It can be used in zone. There's a version of it for zone 2, but it basically is about building triangles on each side of the floor. One person at the top, one person in the corner, and one person in the post. And those players move kind of like in a triangle, but there's actions from each spot that create the opposite action for the other two. It can be effective. We've run it. The Chicago Bulls actually made it famous. You have to have really smart players. And you're also eliminating one entire side of the floor, which isn't really good. But that's what the triangle offense is. Like I said, Tex Winters made it famous to the Chicago Bulls.
Okay. Do you guys hear that? There was zero hesitation on explaining what the triangle was. None whatsoever. It did not happen overnight, but do you see how fluent he is when he talks about it? It's not because he just likes it. It's because he loves it. He's passionate about it. I'm going to use another example. I'm going to ask this Kevin guy that's on the call today, who knows a lot about, he's in the medical field. He does windows, doors. Kev, can I ask you a question? When it comes to prosthetics, what would be the difference between, the Rolls Royce and the Honda? Of nothing wrong with Hondas, for the record, and I never owned a Rolls Royce. Is there really a difference, or is it just upcharged in that field? Like, are they really using different materials or supplies, or don't they all do the same thing? If I get a prosthetic, whatever, is it really going to make a difference?
Well, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Would you want to walk on a computerized 21st century leg, or would you rather walk on a peg leg back from Pirates age?
Do you guys see how quick he was to just also flip it on me and ask me a question? He answered a question with a question. Again, confidence comes from doing something, having expertise in things over and over and over again. I'm not sitting here expecting anybody who's here now or watching this at a later point in time to have all the confidence in the world to attack this business that we're in, because, it's in the knowing. That's where the power is. You see, the more and more you do something, whether it's sales, whether it's coaching basketball, whether it's Apple products, which is something that I'm a massive fan of, technology period is something that I'm very passionate about. It doesn't happen overnight. But do you see how quick? You see, this can happen for you. This can happen because ask me anything about real estate. As a matter of fact, ask me anything about the EXP model. I'm not going to sit there and I'm not going to hesitate. So when you're an expert in something, your confidence goes up. You want to talk about sports, technology, right? Different careers that you've been in before. That's where it comes from. But it comes from the expertise and knowledge of putting time in. You know, I talk about delayed gratification all the time, but you still got to be working towards something. What are you delaying if you're not working towards something? And the same thing comes in real estate. You see, for me personally, it wasn't just I worked with my first client and then I had all the confidence in the world. Guys, let me tell you something. Let me ask you something. You know, do you think I had the same level of confidence showing my first home or my first client, hosting my first open house as I would today? You know, my deals, although we like to consider them within our circle, like the cream puffs, right? They're not always easy. But you know what prepared me? Taking on challenges, gaining knowledge, asking questions, surrounding myself with the right people. When I was faced with the challenge, and I'll take it back all the way to my first deal ever, I had both sides. It was the first and only time in my career where I was a disclosed dual agent. I told my broker, I told my wife, who not my wife at the time, was my girlfriend, now wife, I don't want to do this one. This is so messy. It was like a $75,000 deal. It was both sides. I wasn't prepared for it. Mind you, I have never worked with a seller. I had never worked with a buyer. I've never, let alone worked or represented both sides. I've never worked with a lender. I've never worked with a title company. I'd never been to a home inspection. And this home was, for lack of a better word, a dump. It was a dumpster fire. Okay. And I easily could have walked away from it, but I wanted the experience. I wanted the knowledge. I prepared myself and I made it through. And you know what I told myself? There's no way it can get any harder than this. Sure. Yeah, all deals aren't created equal. All deals are not the same. But what's going to help you build that confidence is taking on the challenge. Because if it were easy, everybody would do it. But not only would everybody do it, because we can make the argument when you get pulled over, you might as well show your real estate license versus driver's license because everybody sells real estate. But it's not a matter of everybody doing it. It's about finding success. Build confidence, build a business. And you got to find it within yourself. So yes, eating some crap, shit, whatever you want to call it, okay? That's going to make you better. You hear me talk about over and over and over again, experience is the greatest teacher, but I mean that, guys. Think about it. You can't learn this business from a book. Maybe you can with other businesses. I don't know. As a matter of fact, that I was the worst kind of learner when it came to, I think they thought I had learning disabilities growing up. I think that's what they call them now today anyway, or the learning, I don't know what they call it today, right? But it's because I was more of a hands-on person. And I'm not saying I didn't prepare myself with obviously the knowledge, educating myself. I spent plenty of time on YouTube, learning how to create dialogue, learning scripts, now how to basically talk to myself, put myself in a position where if I could talk to myself, record myself, listen to myself, I could turn around and I could do it with a client in front of me. I could prepare myself. Yeah, I went out and I learned that. But if I never applied it, it was never going to get me anywhere. It didn't make any sense, right? So you can, because we talk about all the stages of starting a business and the planning that's involved. And so many people get caught up in just learning. Look, you can come to as many calls as you want. You can go to every single training that EXP provides. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. Because if you don't go out there and believe in yourself, and again, this business, yes, one, no two deals are created equal. Every single deal you do is going to be different. And they're not all going to be easy, okay? It's still a massive purchase. It's still a massive sale. But it's not rocket science. So why do top producers produce? Why do above average agents have success? It's because they put themselves in positions to succeed. I know it sounds like I'm oversimplifying it to a certain extent, but I'm telling you, it's not difficult. Finding people, our clients, they'll say is the most difficult part about this business. I beg to differ. Finding good people to surround yourself with, right? Even though we're solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, we've created culture here. I think surrounding yourself with the right team overall is even more difficult. We've done a great time over time helping facilitate and build some of those relationships. And we hope that you can take advantage of some of those relationships. But you know what also makes your life a lot easier in this business? Is working with people who you trust. Spartan, Bruno Law, other attorneys, or facilitating and building your own relationships with people that you do trust. The Acre Mortgages of the world, the Medford Mortgages of the world, the Green Tree Mortgages of the world. When you're able to build a team around you and you can trust the people around you to help you facilitate and do the job, what is that going to create? More confidence. I'll tell you, year 8 in the business for me, and I'm just getting started. There's nothing worse. There's nothing worse, in my opinion, than when a client comes to me because they've been referred to me and they want to bring their own attorney or they want to bring their own lender. I'm good. I look you right in the eye and tell you I'm good at what I do. As a matter of fact, I think I'm the best. It doesn't matter how many homes I sell. One, I don't sell homes. Homes sell themselves. I'm the best at what I do. Money's not my motive. It never will be. And I can confidently say that. But let me tell you something. When I don't have my team around me, as good as I know I am, I can't. And I'm not saying I'm in control. I want to partner with people who know how to do their jobs. Well, when I get a referral and that person's bringing their attorney and bringing their lender and bringing their title company, I got to make it known from the beginning. I got to cover my bases. I got to let them know. Is this a family friend of yours? Do you trust them? Do you believe them? Are you open to a second opinion, right? Because you were referred me, but it wasn't just me that you referred. It was my team. You see, this is what I'm saying. In this business, it's not just you. You have an opportunity to build something here. Build confidence, build a business. Build a supporting cast. Take some of the pressure off of you. When you partner with a great lender, you know how easy that makes your life when you're running a buyer? When you find a solid attorney, right? And again, I'm not here to go tit for tat whether we want to work with attorneys or not. But when you're working with a seller and you're working with an attorney, let's be honest, at least, depending on where you're geographically located, attorney does a lot of the seller docs, right? They got to prepare the deed, things of that nature. To me, I think it's a bargain, but nor here nor there. If anything, when it comes to working with a seller, you still have to make sure that you can facilitate the deal because now you've got to worry about the other half. The point is we talk about these things because, guys, we're not just trying to make you better. I'm not trying to just make myself better. We're trying to shape and shift the industry. Because if we're all educated and we're all confident, not cocky, no matter how good I know I am, I'm the most humble person you'll ever meet in your life. I am. When I'm talking to my clients, we work together. We work in tandem. But I let my clients know this is a team effort. There are certain things I will do and there's certain things I won't do. I make that very clear from day one. Why? Because I set expectation. I'll spend an hour having a consultation with a buyer or a seller before I even meet them, before we even go out and see a home, before I see their home, right? I'm trying to educate myself, better prepare myself. What am I doing by doing that? I'm educating them. They have so much confidence in me before we've even met that I know that I'm going to be able to facilitate this deal. They can ask me any question. I welcome it. Ask me the questions now. Well, Mike, I just don't have that confidence. You don't have that confidence because what you're seeing is not a finished product, but an advanced product. Okay. We're never finished products. We're always getting better. Look at the coach. Look at the coach. Look at the price points this guy's in. Right? Do you think that that doesn't involve more work than some of the price points he was in earlier in his career? This guy just simply manifested that these are the clients he wants to work with, and look at him now. I mean, he'll service that. Me too. Like, it doesn't matter. But look how he shifted his business. You think that was a finished product? You think baselining? Yes, sure. You treat everybody with respect and equally. But things start to get different depending on the type of money that you're dealing with. So you pivot, you advance, you get better is what I'm saying. So what I know today and my confidence where it sits today may not be where it's probably going to be extremely different. I can tell you, I'm only going to be more confident with more and more experience. And that's the point I'm trying to make here. It comes over time. It just doesn't happen overnight. But if you don't put yourself in positions and situations that's going to allow you to advance your career, to build that business, you're not going to find the confidence. If you want to sit there and you want to blame the world, right? You see my dog? What is she doing back there? If you want to sit there and blame the world, do it, but don't do it. Don't say it out loud, right? I still want you to put a smile on your face and go out there. Because, guys, energy is also something that's contagious. You hear me talk about the 5-1 rule all the time. You hear Coach say it, show me your friends, I'll show you your future. Who you surround yourself with, the energy, more than anything. The energy, I truly believe, that you surround yourself with will help shape and sculpt your life for the better or the worse. It's up to you. Another thing I want to talk about, but it kind of parlays into absolutely everything, is building that network. Why you heard me talk about the team, right? Why that's so important. Because you can't do it all. You see, the moment you realize that, this business becomes even that much easier. Why are you trying to do it all? Am I saying there's not going to be situations where you have to put on the lender hat because they're not doing their job? Title, you got to get on title's butt. You got to get on the attorney's butt. You got to get on the other agent's butt. Sure. But when you build a strong network of professionals around you, when you have a coach that you can call, when you have a me that you can call, because you guys are building relationships within the organization with one another, and you see others doing things, you have someone to reach out to. You have a network. It's here. It's in place. Take advantage of it. There is nobody in this organization who's going to blow you off, right? And guess what? If that person blows you off, call the next. I didn't have that. I had my broker at my previous brokerage, loved me. We shared a passion. This was my network, right? We shared a passion for Apple products. We like technology, all this stuff. When it came to the actual business, and what did he care? He was on salary. He didn't care if I sold anything or not. I'm sure he wanted me to, because I'd stick around. I'd stick around at least until I woke up one day and made a decision. One of the fastest in the organization, even though I'm technically agent one in this organization, made that decision in 7 days flat. But the point I'm trying to make is, he just wanted to be my friend. He really didn't care. And, I didn't learn a lot from my broker. He taught, he had trainings. You know where those trainings came from? Out of a book. Out of a book. Wrap your head around that. I already told you, I can't learn that way. It's very difficult for people to learn that way. It wasn't for me. I had to create the experiences. I had to go out there and actually do it. And it's the same thing for you guys. Anybody. That's, again, where the confidence is going to come from. We talked about Kevin and the coach and being really well-spoken and versed and knowledgeable about what it is they do. Well, why can't you do the same thing in this business when it comes to specializing in something? It could be something as vague as, well, I work very well with first-time home buyers. It's true. I do. I love it. I love it. I love it. They get nervous. They want to bring their parents. They want opinions from everybody else. No, I love it. I'm able to facilitate all that. Excuse me. That's a niche. That's a specialization. You want to work on REOs, real estate owned property, foreclosures, short sales. You want to specialize in rentals, long-term rentals, short-term rentals, winter rentals. Pick something. And now you have something that you can open the book on, or you can go to YouTube on, and you could just focus on. You know, there's a bigger picture. It's buying or selling. Doesn't matter what it is. You want to work with investors. They need to buy. They need to sell. Does anybody know when the money's made when you're working with an investor? At the time of purchase, right? The money's made in the buy, not the sell, okay? Margins, really important. You got to focus on things like that. Are you able to provide an investor with an ARV, an after repair valuation, right? Hey, you know, if you can get this home up to, you know, this is market value for this home turnkey. It's, you know, 300,000. They're asking for 2.25. Probably lock it up for 230,000, whatever the case is, or maybe you get it for 220, whatever. Are your margins good? Do you think you can make money? You know, don't forget fees, titles, you name it, right? Things of that nature. Could you get into or start mastering the margins, understanding the cost of goods, labor, and all that? Yeah, go for it. Not me. I'll tell you, don't put me with an investor, right? You want to put me with an investor. I deal better with investors who build portfolios, single family, multifamily homes. I'm not a buy and hold guy. I'm not a flipper. I'm not my thing. I don't specialize in it. Can I help them? Of course. Of course. Absolutely. Of course I can help a flipper. But it's not something that I'm going to go out there and just advertise as my specialty. So pick something. If it came to a novice who wanted to sit down with me and talk about purchasing their first flip, I'll be honest with you. I'll tell you what I know. I'll tell you need to educate yourself. Be prepared. Yeah, if someone comes to me, Mike, I'm ready for my first flip. Okay, awesome. You know, I want to finance this. Can I do it? FHA? No, you can't. Why? Because FHA. But I don't have a lot of money. I'm a first-time home buyer. You're not buying a home. You're buying basically a product that you're going to turn around and you're going to sell. FHA is not going to allow that. Why? What do we know about FHA? Anybody can tell me. Can anybody tell me why we can't purchase an investment or a flip with FHA? I can. Can anybody? You could put it in the chat. You could say it out loud. I'll give you an opportunity. Why can't we finance a flip with FHA? Here's the reason why. And this, again, I'm able to answer this, not because I'm confidently, because I know it. Because FHA is an owner-occupied product. You have to live in it. Does anybody know how long you even have to occupy an FHA property before you turn around? Not sell, you can sell a home whenever you want. But does anybody know how long you have to occupy an FHA property before you rent it out?
1 year.
That's right. 1 year. He answered it pretty fast. Well, how do you learn things like this? How do you learn what the max amount of seller concessions is on an FHA versus a conventional loan? Well, you ask questions. My father, rest his soul, man, he told me all I did was ask questions. Why do you always ask so many questions? Why do you ask so many questions? Why do you ask so many questions? I don't know. It's just what I do. It's what I did. It's what I did to this day. And it served me well. Served me well. Questions. What I've also learned is everybody has an opinion. I have an opinion on how to attack this business. My opinion is going to be different than Coach's. My opinion probably different than Tom's, Kevin's, Yasir's, Jim's. Everyone's going to have an opinion. They're going to have an opinion on how to negotiate. You can ask and you can take them. Take them with a grain of salt. Take them into consideration. If there's one thing I'm super passionate about is when I'm helping somebody build their business, is you take a little bit here, take a little bit there, but create your own. Create your own. You know, I love working with attorneys. A lot of people don't. You ask me why. They do the bulk of the work. They do. They'll review contracts. They'll prep deed. They'll negotiate inspections, repairs, right? They can do all of that stuff, all of it. And what I've learned is that's their job. And I sell an attorney like I sell car insurance. You may not like it, right? But it's good, though, when you end up needing it. No one wants to pay for car insurance. But if you need it, it's a good thing that you have it, right? That you're not driving around uninsured. Peanuts to an elephant, too, guys. When you're talking about a transaction. You want to talk about building confidence? Let's talk about building confidence for a second. When you're having these conversations with clients, are you making sure that they're motivated? You know, when people start taking you seriously, they start respecting your time. So when you have consultations or you're putting out content, because we want to talk about content here too. When you're creating content or you're sending a message, what are you actually saying? Are you saying respect me for the words that are coming out of my mouth? Or are you saying I'm like every Harry, Dick, and Jane? Nothing wrong with those names, but you get what I'm saying, right? Add value. When you add value, people will respect you. They'll respect your time. I'm working with a client right now. We're set to close, I don't know, 2 weeks from Thursday. And this client was referred to me, but they went and they looked through my Instagram and they saw a video. And the first time we had the conversation, the husband basically said, based that video alone knew I was like, yeah, you referred to us, but we did a little research, and that video alone, I won't mention which video it was, it's irrelevant, but that video alone, yeah, that was it for us. And there's 2 videos. One was real estate related, one was actually not real estate related. So they got to kind of both sides of me, right? Because we talk about that too. You paint a picture, right? But paint a pretty picture. Doesn't have to be one-dimensional. But the point is this, okay? They respect my time. They respect my words. That's what you're looking for. I'm not talking about being that authoritative person when you're out there building relationships. That's not, look, guys, that's just not, it's not being personable, right? You don't have to, rule with an iron fist. It doesn't have to be that way. These are still relationships. You can still speak with confidence and conviction about what it is that you do. That's what people love. Find it in yourself. It's important because, again, as you know, and that comes with experience, that comes over time. That's going to happen. Do you think when I talk to an agent about EXP, or forget it, it could be a client, it could be an agent, it could be, I'm just using an agent as an example, that I had as much confidence I do today as I did back then? Don't you think when you start selling more homes, that also builds confidence? Sure. You do realize that every top producer started somewhere, selling nothing. Selling nothing. So at one point in time, every top producer had never sold a home. Wrap your head around that. Confidence. Build confidence. Build a business. You know, you heard me talk about social media. I really need, because I'm starting to pivot with this, guys. I need you to have an online presence, but I need you to have a strong online presence. But I don't need that to be the only thing. You still have to be able to build and cultivate relationships. Posting on social media is great, depending on the level and the type of content that you're putting out there. But it can't be the end-all be-all. It can't. Because at the end of the day, even if your content is top-notch, high production levels, right? Like A1 stuff, you still have to show up during game time. Well, what better way to do than actually engaging with people and then building relationships? Don't you think that the more and more content, strong content, valuable content that you create, the more confident you're going to be creating it. I don't care what it is. I don't care. But traditionally speaking, video is going to be the strongest type of video or strongest type of content that you can create. I get it. You got threads now. You know, still photography, flat photography is coming back to social media. I get it. Again, I'm not talking about being one-dimensional, but think about it. Tonality, conviction, body language. How can you pick up on that? When I type something or if I post something, I want people to repeat it in my voice. Well, if people don't know what I sound like or people aren't familiar with who I am, how are they going to be able to do that? Develop a strong online presence, guys. If you can develop a strong online presence and back that with the ability to go out there and prospect and meet people and educate people, give. Don't ask for anything in return. It's another thing too. Why do you think for my entire career, I tell people I don't sell homes? Why do you think I can so confidently say when I'm working with a client that I don't care if you buy or sell this home? You might think that's weird. You might, but I mean it. I mean it. I want it if you want it. I don't want it for myself. I'm not here looking for the sale. I don't have to live in this home. Sure as hell don't have to pay the mortgage on it. I don't care. I care about helping you get where you want to be. The home is just the obstacle in the middle. All right. How are we going to be able to facilitate this? That's what I let people know. Never had a client in my career sign an exclusive buyer agency agreement. Won't have them do it. Why? Because if I'm not, and I make this very clear, if I'm not able to do my job, why should you be bound? And let's be honest, guys, exclusive buyers, it depends on what state you're in, but they don't hold water. Anybody could be fired at any point in time for any given reason. Oh, procuring cause. I showed them that property, that and the next. Why'd you lose them if that was the case? I have all the confidence in the world. I'm not losing a client. I have. Okay. Short. It's going to be the shortest story ever. One time early in my career, I was fired. It's the one, and it still chaps me to this day. I had the wife, never had the husband. It was no funny business. It was just they were on different playing fields, right? Different mindsets, and I wasn't able to help them meet in the middle. And ultimately, the husband ruled, and they went with the new, more seasoned agent, whatever the case was. Moral of that story, I learned from my experiences, which is something we're going to talk about here. This is a good segue into one of my next points, is that you want to learn from it. You want to learn, right? You want to be able to make mistakes. If you can't be perfect. You can't be perfect in this business. Now, another quick story. When we were at a sales meeting back at my old brokerage early on in my career, I was starting to pick up steam. And the broker got in front of the entire sales meeting and said, you know, who here has gotten who's batting 1,000, you know, every client that you're working with over the past 3 months, you know, you've been able to facilitate. My hand went up faster than, I should let you use your imagination, but it went up, and it went up fast. And yeah, my goodness, he took the wind out of my sail. He just looked at me and said, you're not doing enough. You're not doing enough business. It's as simple as that. No one bats 1,000. You think the coach bats 1,000? You think I bat 1,000? You think every agent tells us yes? Right? You think we get every listing that we take? Here's the point, right? Hang with me here for a second. You don't see them. No one talks about that stuff. We know what you guys are going through. You guys, you girls, you agents, you human beings, you humans. We know. My friends, we know what you're going through. Rejection is part of this business. But if you're not able to take that and ball it up and eat it and pick up where you left off and go out there and do it again, I'm going to tell you something. And it's not going to be this business ain't for you. You can still sell a few homes a year. You guys, anybody can sell a couple homes a year, right? Pick and choose. Did you get into this for a side hustle? Are you watching this as a side hustle? It's up to you. But if you can learn from those experiences, the bad ones, I'm not talking, right, and you can learn from good ones too. That's you want to duplicate. We talk about duplication. Duplication creates wealth, not you or me. That's impossible, right? Duplication does, though. If you can create a system and a process and you can learn from your failures, your hiccups, your mess ups, well, then you can win. But we know you're not going to land every buyer. We know you're not going to land every seller. We know that you're not going to attract every agent. But are you able to deal with the rejection? And part of being an entrepreneur, part of building the confidence is being able to have that story. I've told my story a million times about my first year in real estate. Told my story about my wife. Coach has told the same thing, right? We all have them. We all have these stories. You and I are no different. That's the thing. I wasn't always this way. It came with time. It came with experience. That's how I was able to build confidence. That's how I was able to build a business. And when I tell you I'm just getting started, I'm exactly that. I am just getting started. And so are you. And I don't care how long you've been doing it. If I'm just getting started, then you're just getting started, okay? Because if you're watching this or you're here now, whatever the case is, you're here because you care about your business. You care about yourself. Care about yourself. Self-care. Why is this so important? Why is this such a reoccurring theme? Because, guys, it's just like anything else. Look good, feel good, play good. They use it in sports, right? I'm playing golf. I want to look good. I want to have the right equipment out there. I want to be prepared. Now, does it always translate into playing good? No. But I'm not golfing every single day. So what do I expect? I'm a high handicap, right? I'm going to be an 18 for a long time. It is what it is. But had I decided to, maybe go out there and craft or hone in on my golfing abilities and really practice, yeah, damn straight I could be good. Of course, I believe I could play on the PGA Tour. I'm not just saying that for the sake of this call. I believe that. I believe that. Yeah, it's just, this is where my focus is at. But do I not believe for a second that yeah, absolutely. I believe I could play professionally if I really busted my butt. Kevin, for sure, because Kevin's really good. You should see his flop shot. Very, very, very impressive. I still got to master my flop shot.
Years in the making, my friend. Years in the making.
You hear that, guys? Years in the making. That's the point. That's the point. Delayed gratification. I've said it once, I've said it twice, I've said it 5 times. Build confidence, build your business, right? Guys, one other thing that I think that is so important, just one other thing, but we're coming up on the hour. All right, I'll mention 2 things. One is being exceptionally good at customer service. Put the client first. And how do I believe the best way to do that is you educate them. You educate them. I'm not telling you let them walk all over you by putting them first, but provide that exceptional customer service interaction. Now, do not get this twisted. And I don't care what anybody says. We're not selling products or goods here. Mike, house. It's a house, right? It's a tangible item. You touch it. Sure as hell can sell it. No. Selling a service. You're selling you. If you're going to sell anything, you're selling yourself. I can't stress that enough. So be somebody that you want to work with. Be somebody that you want to surround yourself with. You know, energy attracts energy. Activity breeds activity. Know these things. Focus on these things. It is imperative, guys. You know, and I'll kind of like, I'll leave it on this, okay? Because I don't care who you are. Everybody should have a mentor. Everybody. I thought I was too good for one. Trust me. Believe me when I tell you. I thought I was too good for one. I have my mentors, and they know exactly who they are. And I love them. I do. Some older, some younger than me. I'm just going to be completely honest with you. People that I look up to, people that I do surround myself with. I'm not too proud to say it. I don't have an ego. Don't care about it. Don't care what people think. All I care about is being a great human, not a great realtor, a great human. That's what I care about. You know, Mike, you know, you got it. You got money. You got freedom. You have time. It's easy for you to say that. You know nothing about me then. Because I came from nothing. I had a little bit of change when I lost my father almost a decade ago. And when I tell you, you give somebody a little bit of change who hasn't had anything, and no, it wasn't deprived, you know, been through shit. Believe me when I tell you. The well ran literally dry. I thought I was going to be a home run success my first year of real estate. Lifestyle changed. Everything changed. I had my moment. I had my pivotal moment. See, failure was an option because I could learn from it. Quitting was not. It was something that I refused to do. It wasn't in my blood. I knew myself. And one thing I knew, and this is me personally speaking, is I could never work for anybody. I figured these things out. I knew from a young age I had a problem with authority. I knew I loved my time more than anything, my family more than anything. I knew certain things, but I had to learn others. This industry, this vehicle of real estate, it changed my life, and it could change yours. You have to give it a chance. You have to believe in yourself. Build your confidence and build your business.